Charge of this, and you're live, but I wanted it on you. There you go.
All right, hi everybody. We're here at Big Cat Rescue, Carol and I. I've switched days on you. I have switched my volunteer days to Friday and Sunday from Saturday and Sunday. I'm teaching summer school now, so
Connection.
Hmm.
Maybe you should put this on you instead.
Oh, the pack. Okay. Oh, she's up. Hello, Nikita. I thought we would start with Nikita today. I haven't visited Nikita for a little while, so and she's always a beauty to go see.
You're back now.
All right, awesome. So we'll go around and see if we can say hello. Yeah, I realized Nikita was my first singing Sunday cat. She's what started it all off. But I haven't seen her recently. I've been learning to clean, but I've been doing the small cats, which means the bobcats and the servals. So I've been spending more time in that area and not over here where Nikita is. So I decided to come here today. So Nikita is our only lion here at Big Cat Rescue. And she is 19 now. Hi, sweet girl. Hi. Aw, that looks very comfortable. She has found, I think, the shadiest spot back here in her enclosure. It is very warm here in Tampa, those of you that are watching us from other places. It's been quite warm and humid the past few days, so the cats are experiencing that, definitely.
You want to know what the current temperature is?
I don't know exactly. Let me ask my phone. 87. Okay, there you go. So this is Nikita's unroofed section. She does have this unroofed as well as a roof section. And the reason that the cats have both is because of storms. If big winds are coming up, we don't want tree limbs falling, that kind of thing. So anytime there is a chance of high winds, they are going to get moved into that roof section. Now, I will say that only lions and tigers can have unroofed sections. The reason for that is they are not climbers and jumpers. So the reason for the roof for, say, Manny the Jaguar would absolutely be able to get out of here if this were his enclosure. And also Aries Cougar, any of the leopards, any of those cats. Even the bobcats are really good at climbing. They can scale the cage wire pretty quickly. So that's the reason for that. So Nikita's story, if you don't know, if you're new to watching us, you're saying, why is there a lion here at Big Cat Rescue? And I do always like to make the point, there's many of you that watch us that are very familiar with Big Cat Rescue, but it's always important to speak to first-time viewers about our mission here. And you have to understand that cats who have been in captivity can never go free. There is just no option for that. They don't know how to live in the wild. It's not legal to release them. There's only certain habitats that can support them. There's just so many reasons that can't happen. So basically not just a big cat, any animal that's been in captivity really can't survive in the wild. That just interferes with all of that natural behavior that they would have. So Nikita unfortunately spent her first year of life chained to the wall of a crack house. And when she was rescued, she was so thin that she could be carried out under the arm of one officer. So she has thrived here at Big Cat Rescue. She now weighs, I think, about 425 pounds, which is pretty big for a lioness. But you have to remember, I'm sorry, my mask keeps slipping. It's a little slippery and I'm a little sweaty. You have to remember in the wild that they would be hunting. The female lions are the ones who do most of the hunting, so she would be ranging over that territory, and they don't always eat every day either. Might catch something and gorge and eat, and maybe 3 or 4 days between kills. So that keeps them nice and lean. Nikita is what I like to call fluffy, so she enjoys her meals every day, and there is a reason why we feed the cats here every day. The part of that reason is that is a chance to take sort of a temperature of how they're doing. You can see how much they're eating. You can see if we need to give them more food, less food. You can see if they're favoring one side of their mouth or another. There's all sorts of information that you can get watching the cats get fed every day. So that's why that's an important thing. It also makes sure that you see the cat every day, because they definitely come out for food.
A lot of people are referring to her as Queen Nikita.
Queen Nikita, absolutely. I totally agree with that. Because they do call lions the king of the jungle, right? So I guess she's the queen.
I think that actually got started with Lori Deska referring to her as her royal lioness in the
I love that.
to the editor, letters to the management.
I love that. Oh, you sweet girl. She looks very happy. Nikita is also declawed, and that, of course, is the reason why she cannot live with other lions. They are the only cat in the wild that does live in a group called a pride, but because of her being declawed and having that experience, she was afraid to be with other lions. It was attempted to introduce her to a pride at a zoo. So that was not able to happen because of that situation. And also Nikita stays back here kind of in her own private resort because of that experience of not really understanding that she's a big cat and being stressed out by being around other cats, being stressed out by being moved. So she does not participate in vacation rotation for that reason. So this is her
show an overview of her cage here,
yeah.
Zooming out a bit.
So how many square feet is hers?
I think this is 300 by 300. Plus
Okay.
She's got like 1,800 square feet over there.
All right. So I always like to
Over
point that out
10,000.
as well to newcomers, because it might appear that the enclosures are smaller than they are when you're just watching us on the live. But you have to remember that we're just focusing on one section when we look at a cat, and they have quite a bit more space than that.
They're asking what she eats.
She eats, I think her favorite, I want to say, is drums, turkey drums. I think that's her favorite.
I just made her dinner.
Yeah. Did she get...
she got beef. She got a big hunk of beef today.
Right.
And she got chicken quarters, and apparently she loves the legs, the calcium. So
yeah.
she got lots of legs
Good.
and mush.
And mush. All of
She
the...
didn't like the mush. So
I know.
think we gave her, actually, I don't think she got mush. I think she
No.
just gets yeah.
So that mush that Diana was talking about, that's something that all of the cats get fed. It's kind of like them taking their vitamins, and it is like the innards of the cow. It looks a little bit like ground beef, but not really, but similar to that. And we have to, in food prep, go by, there's a chart of how big the ball of mush is depending on the cat. So
Baseball.
they're like ping pong, tennis ball, baseball, softball, like that. And then they're in ounces as well.
She didn't get
And a lot of times the cats don't really like the mush. A lot of times that's the little bit that gets left. They eat the good stuff first.
Because it has all the vitamins and
Right,
minerals and
right.
everything they need in it. So it's like their broccoli that they don't want to eat.
Was it the cow?
Aw,
I think
she's so
Scott at
sweet.
one point said it was like having an entire cow ground up,
Uh-huh.
put into a grinder.
Aw. Hello, sweet girl.
All right, is everybody still there? Getting a couple of frozens, but we got frozen when we were standing here before. Let's go ahead and
Okay,
finish that.
yeah, maybe it's something about that area. I noticed these flowers back here today are so pretty. Back there by the
Where the
caracals. Yeah. Oh, and Kimba's out too. You can say hello to Kimba.
I remember when Zarabi was there, and she was in the middle of Zarabi, and who was the other one?
Maya, the one eye.
Yeah.
I don't know where the caracals hang out when it's hot.
Seems like all the pictures I see of.
It's almost
Cyrus are
always
the
in
front.
here. Yeah.
Like back there, where those flowers are.
No. Maybe in the back. Yeah. All right. This area is our two caracals,
Can I go in?
Chaos
Stay
and
with us when we
Cyrus.
go in.
Oops. Slip in there a little bit. Caracals are very interesting looking cats. If you've never seen one, they're not quite like any other wild cat. They have very prominent ears. Hello, there's Miss Chaos. Hello. Isn't she beautiful? So they have those very prominent ears. They're not very big. They're roughly the size of a serval, if you're familiar with that. Yeah, she's a little hissy, like a serval. So what caracals are really known for is being able to jump and catch many birds in the air in one jump. So they have that extraordinary flexible spine and ability to jump. So these two caracals are here because they were kept by a breeder in Ohio. And I just see somebody mentioning that caracal means black ears. I saw a comment on there. So I think in Turkish, I think that's, yeah.
She's so pretty.
So unfortunately, breeding is still an issue. And even though Ohio has really good regulations now around a lot of ownership of exotics, there are some loopholes. So the breeder that they came from was claiming to only have hybrid cats, which is a domestic cat wild cat hybrid, but they became suspicious of the fact that she might have also some purebred wild cats, and she did. So we also have Zucari the serval, came from the same place. And Chaos and Cyrus now live separately. They were forced to be together in that situation, and they had an amicable breakup when they got to Big Cat Rescue and have a his and hers enclosure now.
We thought after we neutered them we could put them back together, but she still said no way.
No,
way.
yeah, she said I had enough of that. Most cats are by nature solitary, with the exception of lions. So we often get asked, I know on tours we used to get asked a lot if the cats were lonely or if they didn't want another cat in the enclosure with them. And usually the answer to that is no, they're quite happy to have their space. So we haven't seen, where's your friend?
I
I think back here in the flowers. Unless he's camouflaging really well. So we'll go ahead and point out, since we're right here, this is what is called a feeding lockout. So this area is used just like it sounds like for feeding. So the feeder will come, and depending on the age and the activity level and the aggressiveness of the cat, this guillotine door here can be lowered. So most of the time with the smaller cats, especially the older smaller cats, that doesn't have to be lowered, but they will safely drop whatever they're feeding through this cage wire onto this cement slab. And there is the water dish, and the tile helps to keep the water dish free of debris and also from evaporating. So this extra protection here, this keeps out the ugly buzzards around here that like to try to get in there and get the meat away from the cats. So
I got a question about
yes.
whether males are usually bigger than females.
I believe so. I know that Cyrus is bigger than Chaos, so I think Cyrus likes to eat. They say he's a little, they say he's getting a little fat because it can be misleading if you just look at this area right here and think that that's the enclosure, and nothing could be further from the truth. Think of this like you're in your kitchen and you go to the fridge to see what's good to eat to pull out of the fridge. That's what this is. And then you go back to your other areas of your home, right? So they have many rooms in their house. You can see maybe through there that there's another guillotine door up. So he has this bubble, he can go through that door and access that bubble. So there's many sections in each enclosure, just like you have rooms in your house.
And like both of those dens that you see there is.
Right.
So there's another section on the other side back there.
All right, you've been very kind, letting us visit you. And the same with Chaos. She also has this bubble as well as this bubble, and they also go over to the other side but I never see them over there.
Better decorated.
Yeah.
Well, obviously he can't get there. Seems rare.
Let's see how you do with those clips, with those nails. All right, let's see.
Nails like that. I'm like, are you guys kidding me?
Kimba, let's go check on Kimba. So Kimba tiger just recently got moved to this section, for those of you who follow us. He's got a much bigger space all to himself here. He was over on Tiger Row with Simba and Max, and he recently made this transition. We have a witness protection cat here who was formerly in there, and to explain that a little bit, we have had cats like that before. Those of you that know Sapphire and Jasmine and Duchess and Jinx, the four of them were also witness protection cats, and that meant that there was a time when they were here at the sanctuary and we were caring for them, but this was not their permanent residence. Ownership was still being litigated, thank you, that's the word I'm searching for. So they were here for about 4 years, and then finally, as of April 30th, 2019, they get to stay here. So we have another cat who's in a similar situation. So that cat has been moved to a different area, and now Kimba's back here. And he, I understand, has discovered every platform in here.
He
loves the platforms.
Actually, we're the only, I kid around and I say we're the only ADA certified sanctuary because all of our cats have specialized platform
Right.
ability levels.
So those of you that don't know the story of Kimba and his friends Simba and Max, the three of them came to us from Guatemala, and that was when the circus was shut down in that country, and it became illegal to use exotic animals. So their rescue took about 18 months from start to finish, and they were in Guatemala during that time with Animal Defenders International, and we were providing financial support. They were on the ground, and then they finally arrived here the Monday before Thanksgiving. And that transition, I mean, that's a lot. They had to be flown from Guatemala to Miami. They had to be transported from Miami to Tampa. There was a lot of commotion. There were a lot of people. You can just imagine if you're the tiger and you're going from that experience to being on a plane, to being in a transport, to arriving in a new place. So they have settled in a bit better. I understand that Kimba still he's young, and that's the thing. He's a very young tiger. He's only 4, and so he's got that young male testosterone telling him what to do, right? Driving him. So, hello, handsome. But they are definitely settling in much better than when they first arrived. Yeah. Actually, Simba took to things pretty well right from the beginning, but he also got to go on vacation right away too. So
He did his yoga moves.
I got to be in vacation rotation instead of elsewhere.
Ask how much does a move like that cost?
Oh gosh, I do not know the answer to that, but I bet you do.
Wasn't it $1.3 for the legal?
No, it wasn't that much. Gosh, I used to have those numbers right on the top of my head. I'm thinking it ended up costing like $8,000 to just the plane part.
Right.
And then we had to support them down there for over a year.
Right.
And it was like $10,000 per cat per year while they were down there. But the charter was much reduced because it was going to be $80,000.
I thought I
at their
remembered that
regular
number.
rate,
Yeah,
and they reduced it.
that's good. So this is the second international rescue. We also, if you have been following us for a number of years, we had a tiger named Hoover who was similar and same process of getting him from Peru, transported by plane to Miami to Tampa.
I keep moving this way to try and get you and the cat in the
Oh.
picture. And you keep moving back.
I'm sorry, my mask keeps slipping too. I keep adjusting. All right, well, You know who I'm going to want to go see.
Manny.
Manny's overrated.
Oh, come on.
I used to always say that on tours because everybody, you know, Manny is the guy. Everybody wants to see Manny, right? But I say I like my man of mystery. You know, he's more understated and he's not so, you know, attention seeking. So Jinx was on Funcation. He just moved this past week, so he has gone back to his enclosure, and Manny is now in Funcation, which we are walking towards right now. So those of you that don't know, Funcation is one of our 2 areas that the cats, it's like timeshare for the cats. So every month a different cat gets to spend in here, outside of their enclosure, and they take turns, they rotate through that. And you'll notice that this one has a roof. Vacation Rotation is unroofed, like when we were at Nikita Lioness, and that's where the tigers go on vacation. And if we had another lion other than Nikita, they would also spend time there. We're being stalked already.
Oh, because he's insulted that you said all that about him.
It's like, I can win her heart.
He has enough admirers.
But he deserves it. Come on. Look at that stud muffin.
So you can see right here we have a tunnel system, above ground tunnel system, and this is how Manny goes on vacation. So he has a very short trip because his enclosure is just behind us here. So you can just attach these tunnels together and he just walks all by himself. So that way we reduce the amount of transport and sedation that we do with the cats because it's not necessary and it's not beneficial for them. Hello, handsome.
You are Mr. GQ. We know that.
He was doing that blow kisses thing this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought it was catching flies.
You were blowing kisses this morning. Yes, you were.
He's like letting you know that's his enclosure. Oh, look who's behind us, Aries.
Yeah. So this is Aries Cougar on this side, and those of you who have been here before may remember that he had a different area. So we have had a few cat moves recently in the past month. So he has more space even than it appears here because he has access to behind. He has a length behind him of area he can get into, other enclosures. So he's got quite a bit of room.
It's nice to see him upright.
And you might ask, what is the purpose of Funcation? Why do we have that? And why do we have Vacation Rotation? And we did not go to Vacation Rotation today. It's really hot for one thing. That's like full sun and it's 2.5 acres. So if you're interested in that explore.org camera is also available at Vacation Rotation. And Sapphire, our white tiger, is currently enjoying vacation. Duchess got finished and she's back over where Priya is at Tiger Lake. So Tiger Lake is another Explore camera, so you can check all those cats out. I believe that we're working on getting, or that's a wish list to get Funcation up on a Explore camera as well.
Yeah, they've already put in, you can see the electric and
Oh,
the,
okay.
Outlets and everything.
Awesome.
Right there on that little post. And then we just got to get the camera
Nice.
installed out there. We've ordered the camera, it's just not here yet, I don't think.
So the cats go on vacation for the same reason we do. It's a change, right? And change is enrichment for these cats. You have to remember that, yes, we give them the very best care we can, but it's still life in captivity. And that's just the reality of what it is. So in order to keep them mentally stimulated and physically healthy as well, that gives them a chance to be in a new setting. And they get to smell new things, they get to mark everything for themselves. Right, Aries? You're so handsome.
Hi, handsome.
Look at those eyes.
And apparently still pretty fast because he caught a snake.
Did he?
I
Good.
heard everybody calling on the radio about him, and I was like, oh no, poor Aries, something's wrong.
Exactly.
And then later it was like, and he caught a snake.
Good job, Aries.
Got a black racer.
He was this big when I started.
Oh, you remember him as a
Yeah,
cub?
as a
Yeah.
baby. Once upon a time, you were a little cub. No.
For 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Have you seen Jinx, where he is?
I saw him this morning. I don't know if he's in the same. See? He doesn't want us to go see Jinx. He's like, me, 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 me.
Well, think about all the people he misses.
I know.
He misses
I
all
really
the
do think that Manny is suffering from...
Yeah.
I see his eyes. I see his eyes. He's peeking at us under the platform. Hello.
Listen to what she's saying.
So Manny is having tour withdrawal, I believe. He just got used to all that attention.
You
And
are handsome, and you're my number one.
hello.
Black cat.
So he was laying back where that blue ring is this morning, and I was singing to him for a little bit, and he started rolling over on his back and playing with the blue ring and just looking at me, and then he'd roll over again. So we got a little moment this morning, didn't we? Yeah. It was good. It was good. So those of you that don't know, Jinx is our black leopard. And yes, and many times he is called flat cat. I see lots of comments in there because that's excellent camouflage. He can blend into those shadows under there, and he thinks nobody can see him. And he was one of those witness protection cats I spoke about earlier. The 4 of them came from Ohio. So we officially have the 4 of them here as residents. And those of you who don't know this fact, he is not a black panther. Black panther is a misnomer. He is actually a black leopard. And we can't see too well now because of where he's laying, but if he were in the full sun, you'd be able to see that he has spots just like a leopard underneath that dark fur. And it's actually really, really dark brown. It's not pure black. And I've discovered when I've gotten fortunate enough to be closer to him that he actually has kind of reddish brown whiskers, which is really cool.
Except always see your eyes. That's all I could see of you.
Oh.
He went over there.
Yeah,
Still walking. Janice, how much room we have?
giving us a tour. So I'm gonna lay over here now in the shade. So being a black leopard is good camouflage, and you can have 2 types of melanism. You can have a black leopard or a black jaguar. And the reason that that persists is nature prefers adaptations that ensure survival. So if you're a leopard and you're black and you're hunting at night or in the shadows in the rainforest, it's going to serve you very well as camouflage. Same with a jaguar. So leopards are native. There it goes. And that's why you watch, that's why you look up when you're cleaning.
What caused that? There's no wind.
Just got weak, I
Must
guess.
have been a really strong squirrel.
There you go.
Or a really fat one.
Yeah. COVID spread.
Well, I think that we might wrap this up for today, and I'm going to say that only because it's really warm. And the cats are probably not going to be very active at this time of day and with this heat. But I appreciate everybody tuning in today, and we will see you on Sunday at 2 o'clock for Singing Sunday. And we'll hope no rain. So have a perfectly awesome weekend, and we will see you on Sunday.
Thank you.
You're welcome.